Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. We are a couple days removed now from our first loss of the season. We've had a little time to let it marinate. We're going to talk about our feelings on today and what we're hearing from the coaching staff as well on this week's episode. So let's not waste any time. Shane, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And it's the fourth TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. I'm joined, as always, by my counterpart, Jarett and Vinny. Before we dive into this show for today, we are going to do a shout-out to our great sponsors. As always, let's start off with DraftKings.
TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code SICKSPORTS. That's code SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Shout out DraftKings, but we can talk about Homage because I know a lot about Homage. So, Shane, throw up that beautiful graphic for Homage. Homage specializes in ultra comfy, high quality looks, repping sports, pop culture, and more legendary moments. Learn more about Homage with the link in the description. Anything you're looking for, guys, no matter what sport, what team, highest quality merchandise in the game. And I would not say that unless I meant it wholeheartedly. So homage.com, check them out. All the best.
Yes, and the last but not least, our sponsor, Manta Sleep. Used my sleep mask on Sunday night, fellas. I was in disarray after that loss on Sunday, so I needed some extra darkness while I was sleeping. So, guys, this is the only sleep mask that is not designed to optimize the deepest possible sleep in any environment. 100% blackout. If you guys want a mask, go to their website. Use code SICKTITANS for 10% off. That's how we're gonna do it today, boys.
Absolutely.
You did it already.
Let me ask you guys this. It's been a couple days now. Vin, we'll start with you. 9 times out of 10, no matter how bad anything is, after a few days, the dust settles a little bit, and your mind might change. I can see you shaking your head already. Is your thoughts completely undifferentiated from where they were on Sunday? Like everything is exactly the same.
The only dust that has settled is the dust from the construction in my daughter's room. All right. Other than that, I am, as you can tell, that's the beautiful background my daughter will have in her life for at least the next couple of years. But anyways, yeah, I'm not retracting any statement I said. Was I harsh? Did I use some profanity? Sure, I did, but I meant it. And until it's to the point now, and it's unfortunate because I feel like this has been the issue with the team for so long and certain players and certain coaches, it's the blind faith that we have as fans is out the window now. Now it's to the point where I'm going to need to see it to believe it. We have seen flashes of what Will Levis can do. But to me, it is extremely troublesome to have a quarterback who has a revamped offensive line, albeit he was pressured, I think, the second most out of any quarterback this week. I believe I saw, shout out Tic Tac, he posted that, where he said out of all the quarterbacks, he was pressured the most in all of his drops, second most. That being said, he's had a whole offseason to learn this new offense, a brand new set of weaponry. It's just concerning to me where it seemed like everything was kind of falling into place, and up until the second half, it looked good, and then we completely fell apart. So it kind of seems like it's same same shit, different day, really. But this time it's with a whole new regime. It's a new it's a GM who really had his first true offseason with this. He even said that. Whole new coaching staff, whole new personnel. But it was more of the same old Titans failing to make adjustments for the second half. And we can make excuses all day. We can. It's a first-year head coach, second-year quarterback. He's still got to build rapport with his receivers. But, this is the NFL, fellas. Pull up your big boy pants and figure it out. I mean, come on. So it's to the point now where Will Levis wants to earn my trust, and Brian Callahan and Bill Callahan, I'm going to have to see it come to fruition, because until then, why would us three or our production team or any other Titans fan in the world have any sense of optimism when they've done nothing but, fail us, in my opinion? So, no, I'm not retracting anything I said. I'll retract what I said and turn the page on that when I start to see a difference.
Yeah, so dust being settled for me. Yeah, it's settled. Like I said, I'm turning the page. Week 1 is over. It's basically preseason 4. But what we saw from the offense, the dust is not settling with me. Like Vinny said, we're just so accustomed to trusting these quarterbacks over the past couple of years now, and it gets you hyped up because you see what's going on in training camp and you believe it. They're making throws. Looked great in the preseason. Now, when the lights are on Sundays, it's just the inconsistent football play at the quarterback position is still there. From Mariota to Ryan Tannehill, we all thought we were believing, especially me. Like I said, I died on the hill. That 2019 Ryan Tannehill was great. I thought that was going to sustain that for a couple of years to try to win us a championship. Now we get this young guy in who's been we've been hearing great things about it, and then you have the offensive. I mean, the head coach say, he's reverting back to his footwork problems. He's reverting back to dumb things like mistakes, like tossing the football away. Try just take the sack, like Vinny alluded on Sunday, making plays worse, and we can't have that as a franchise if we're trying to move forward and we're surrounding our young guy with all this talent around and wasting a defensive performance. So, like Vin, I'm not retracting anything either, and I'm not going to put the faith right in Will Levis just yet. He needs to show me a stretch of games where he looks phenomenal and this offense is comfortable. So I'm giving him this much the benefit of the doubt that it was week 1. He's got to come to Nashville when we're there this Sunday, and he's got to light it up on the scoreboard, and he's got to show, us fans all there that we can actually win a football game.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what Vin said about what Tyler mentioned on Twitter, shout out Tic Tac Titans. Apparently, according to Pro Football Focus, our offensive line got graded the 28th ranked offensive line of the week. Which is, obviously what a lot of us saw and mentioned already, how pitiful they were. And Vin mentioned mediocre at best, which is obviously the case. So the way I'm looking at it, as I'm trying to look at this specific game in a vacuum and try to look at this being a glass half full instead of glass half empty situation, is that not only is there always going to be some crazy woes and crazy mishaps in week 1, like countless head-scratching outcomes, which is just every year, no matter what. Not just that, you also can add on the fact that our offensive line was horrendous, and we had a quarterback pressured the second most, out of 32 men that played football at that position on Sunday. So those are pretty significant things that need to be taken into account. Obviously, the shovel pass was inexcusable. It was something that nobody who's going to have success in this league would do. and I got something else to say that's going to piss a lot of people off, but it's the truth. He was so bad. I think Malik Willis wins that game on Sunday. Why? Because we know damn well he just takes fucking sacks. He never throws it away, even if it's the last play of the game and you have to score a touchdown or you lose. He still takes the sack. We saw it with the Packers. Now, obviously, I'm being a little bit sarcastic here.
No, you're not. I really think he would have won that game.
I mean, he was just that bad. He was that bad. Now, was Malik making that throw to Chig? I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was that spectacular. It was more of a good play from Chig.
Even Belichick, not to cut you off, so I'm sorry.
You're good.
But to cut you off, even Belichick was on some podcast. I forgot. I don't know if it was McAfee, but he said, because he was asked about that specific play, in the Titans game, and he goes, I used to have this conversation with Brady all the time when we coached, and we used to say to ourselves, what's the benefit of that play? Maybe you gain 1 or 2 yards, and then what is the worst thing that can happen if you make that play? You lose the game. And we lost that game. And not to bring up something that is so, long gone, but I know, Sal, you'll appreciate this because we talked about how that meaningless win against Jacksonville last year probably cost us, in retrospect now, getting Joe Alt. How many times did Max Crosby get to the quarterback against Joe Alt on Sunday? Could you imagine the left side of our line with Skronsky and Joe Alt? Latham's feet look heavy, and that was his knockout of college. His strength is undeniable, but his feet looked slow.
Yeah, listen.
So it's neither here nor there, but it would just be the most Titans thing ever for Joe Alt to be a 12, 15-year All-Pro Hall of Famer, and we messed up because we wanted to send Derrick Henry off with his swan song, and beat our division rival, and because of that, we lost out on what looks like already a perennial tackle in this.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that really after one game, especially with Latham. Yes, the offensive line was terrible. Yes, they're graded at 28th, but you have the best coach, and this was their first game altogether. They all never played together before. Okay, so they're going to learn from this mistake. They have the great. If we had anybody else, as an offensive line coach, I'd be worrying right now. Bill Callahan is going to prepare them for the rest of the season now that they saw the most pressure. They saw where their weaknesses are, and there was a blocked punt in that game. So they're going to fix this moving forward, and they're going to get better and better and better as they get more cohesiveness together with that offensive line. So that is going to get fixed, hopefully. Okay, and I'm being optimistic here. Okay,
yeah,
so I mean, there's a lot of talent on that offensive line. There's a lot of money invested into that offensive line. So something needs to give with that. And as far as, did you want to say anything before I jump into something else, Al, with the offensive line?
I was going to touch a little bit more on, but we can do that towards the end. So go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, does it worry you guys that you have your head coach sitting up there at the podium saying, if we punted the ball every single time in the second half, we would have won the game? Does that show like any faith in the offense at that time? Because obviously he was saying that, they were bringing pressures. We couldn't adjust. We couldn't get into a rhythm at that point. So
he was saying the quarterback was responsible for the loss. That's what he was indirectly saying.
I think it was a bit of levity to, ease the situation, which we might not be able to read the DraftKings, but we use some big words sometimes. Levity is when you use something, a little bit of humor to get through a bad situation. And I think that's what he was doing. Do I think it could have been a bit of a slap in the face to players like Tony Pollard, who played extremely well? Sure. I think it was more directed at Will Levis. But I really don't have an issue saying that because it wasn't a lie. It really wasn't. And speaking of Pollard, which I'm sure, we might talk about in a little bit, why didn't we just give him the ball the whole second half? Like, even when the game started to slip away from us a little bit, just to keep them off the field and kill 2 or 3 minutes by running the ball 3 times, even if we had won it, you're going to give your defense a bit more of a rest. You're going to keep them, keep their offense off the field for a little bit longer. You're going to kill a little bit more clock. So Brian Callahan can make these jokes, but he's partially to blame as well because he's calling the plays. He's running the show on offense.
Yeah.
Or maybe he needs to look in the mirror and say, well, maybe I should have called run plays the whole game or got our second-year running back more involved who showed a bunch of promise in his rookie year. Instead he wants to make jokes, which cool, he wasn't wrong. But do I think it was, the best look for a first-year head coach to say that after his first game? No.
There's other things that too he said about the offense, in particular to Will Levis. We got a clip. Shane, roll that clip.
Yeah, where his he didn't need the drift in the pocket, and those are things that you don't see until it's live. And everything in training camp looked good, solid. He was playing well, playing with confidence, and his footwork was exactly what we were looking for. And then in the game, some things kind of reverted back. I think that's kind of true across most of the positions, especially our younger players. We had some technique reversions and some things that just didn't show up the way they had shown up in practice. And that part was that was the disappointing part for me, was just to see some of those things that we think we've gotten fixed that showed up again in a game situation. So that part was again disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, man. I mean, we always knocked Vrabel for never holding anyone accountable.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, is it kind of directly saying, listen, we didn't see what we saw in training camp from our quarterback on Sunday? Is it directly saying that our quarterback cost us the game? Kinda, yeah, it is. But I mean, the bottom line is we knew going into this that this guy wasn't no pushover. Like, we heard stories about him in Kansas City, fucking chewing the offense out in halftime, and he's not even the head coach. Those are things that you like to see. Those are things that land you coaching jobs.
Cincinnati.
And this is going to be his style, it looks like, where he's going to at least somewhat going to say it like it is. Listen, Our quarterback didn't do what we expected him to do. And for that reason, that was a major part as to why we walked out of there with a loss. And if Levis has any balls, then he won't make any kind of spectacle out of that, and he'll understand that it's the truth. Now, I did hear him say "we" a lot after Sunday's game, which is one thing that I cannot stand, that every quarterback seems to do. They always got to drop the "we." Never heard anyone say, I completely fucked this. I need to do better. I can't throw fucking shovel passes to the sideline. I need to get rid of the ball if there's nothing available. I need to step up in the pocket more. Not we. And that's what he was doing. For the most part, he at least said, this is like the first time in my career that I just completely gave up the game. So that's a start. But accountability is key here. If you want to build something with success, everyone's got to be held accountable. That was one of the big things Brady always brought to whatever team he was on. Every person, all 53, were held accountable if they didn't perform. And it has to start with him. So,
and even when it's sometimes even you want to see a quarterback take the blame for other players, even when it's not his fault. You know what I mean? Not only did he say we, but you want to see your quarterback take the blame at all times because that's the leader of your team. Supposed to be a leader. He wears a C now, Will Levis. He's a captain. So I hear you on that one. So.
All right. Well, I mean, we hit on a lot of those things. Let's move on, I would think, as we're turning the page, and we're going to start focusing on to the Jets with this podcast. We'll talk a little bit, and we're going to go more in depth with our picks and our game predictions for next show. But just to touch base on the Jets last night and their performance on with the 49ers. How do you think they look, their defense? What do you think we're running into on Sunday?
I got to be honest. I feel a lot better about this game than I did after the game Sunday. I mean, the Jets defense does not look as good as I thought they would. Now,
a little banged up too.
A little banged up. They had some fucking nobody run all over them, which nobody really knew about. Some people did. I forget his name, but Mason. And listen, the Rodgers didn't get a lot of opportunities to throw. So I feel better about our defense going against this team. And maybe again, I think as long as I've said this from the beginning, we have so many weapons. This is what I was going to bring up towards the end, just to kind of give us a little bit more optimism. We have so many weapons, and it looks like our defense is going to be so good that by sheer accident, as long as our quarterback doesn't legitimately give the game up, we should be in most games till the end.
Absolutely.
Like Ridley has to break one. Pollard has to continue to break. Spears, D-Hop, eventually, like, these guys are going to have to get the ball and make plays. That's what they do.
The 49ers, man, Jennings, not to cut you off, but Juan Jennings, Ayuk, they're all running wide open last night too. Like the crossing patterns, like the scheme that Kyle put together. Like I know Brian's going to get to that point, and he was at that point. Yeah, but he was at that point with the Bengals getting people. Now this is his first game actually calling plays. He wasn't calling plays in Cincinnati. Okay, he was just the offensive coordinator under Zach Taylor. So now this is his official start of play calling, and he said he has to get better, which I think is going to be fine because he has the great concepts to put everything together. But those wide receivers last night were running wide open. Yeah. If we get that against the Jets this Sunday at home with the crowd, I think it's good. Just to touch on your thing before Vinny goes, Aaron Rodgers was 13 of 21, 167 yards and a touchdown. Like you said, he did not get a lot of opportunities to throw the ball. Even when they were down like that, even early on, late in the second quarter, early third, you'd think they would try to throw the ball more. They didn't. But
I also think that Aaron Rodgers can still throw the ball. We know that, but his mobility is next to one entirely. And if Caleb Williams did a few things decent last week, he extended some plays. You know what I mean? Not that he made anything of it. That is something I don't think Aaron Rodgers can do anymore. So that makes me feel a little bit better about playing him in that offense next week. And like you said, Sal, our defense should keep us in a lot of games. And I was not overly impressed at all by the Jets. That being said, San Francisco is a juggernaut. They've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, multiple, I think 4 NFC title games in the last 5 years. So, take that game with a grain of salt too, because the 49ers have the ability to make any team in the league look that bad. But with that being said, watching the Jets last night and see how they were exposed a little bit, defensively and on offense as well, I feel a little bit better about playing them, but don't make any mistakes about it. You give Aaron Rodgers the ball, you turn the ball over prematurely and give him the ball in good field position, he will make you pay for it. He might not be the Aaron Rodgers of 5 years ago, but he's still Aaron Rodgers. So take care of the ball Sunday. And, it's, in my opinion, and I think most Titans agree, it might be only week 2. This is a must win. It is a must.
Of course it is.
It is a must win because it's our home opener. It's a must win for the confidence of the quarterback. It's a must win to get the taste out of, Titans fans' mouths, the Titans, organization in general. It is a must win. Especially this could be a head-to-head battle that could determine, hopefully, a wild card spot at the end of the year. So this game not only is a must win because we need it for the confidence of our team and our quarterback and our fan base, but, how many times at the end of the year does a tiebreaker come into handy when, you're trying to get in that last wild card spot? So must win.
The only thing you can counter with that is that obviously the Jets are going to feel the same way, and obviously they're going to feel like their backs are against the wall already, going 0-2 with all the expectations they have. So you got to assume maybe Robert Saleh is a little more aggressive, and I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna be there to see it, and that's a great thing. So, but
could be. We have our backs against the wall too. We have our home opener as well. But like you've been saying, so our defense is going to keep us in a lot of games, and I wholeheartedly believe that we are going to get after Aaron Rodgers because he is not mobile anymore, and he's not going to extend the plays like Vinny just said, like Caleb Williams.
He's a little mobile.
He's not as
mobile.
Still a
little mobile. He rolled out of the pocket a couple times last night.
Yeah, but he's not as mobile as Caleb Williams. And
no,
we're gonna get after him, and I'm not worried about the defense holding them accountable. We have 2 studs in the back end. Monty Hooker graded as one of the best safeties and one of our one of the best players that we had on the field Sunday. Well, there's a couple things that we have, working in our favor for Sunday.
Yeah. Let's not also forget. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jarett.
No, they're traveling from San Francisco back to New York, which is across country. And then they have a short week now because now they're flying 2.5 hours to Nashville. All right. So they had that short week. Also, Aaron Rodgers has 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions against career versus the Tennessee Titans. He's also 2-3 versus the Titans career. All right. He's never won in Nashville either. So
we already know that statistics
of
do
course
not
it doesn't.
do the Titans any favors at all.
I wholeheartedly believe in this defense, and I wholeheartedly believe that we will keep them tame.
Yeah. And you clearly are, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way. You are certainly optimistic still, and I know.
Offense, no.
Yes, but we can't forget that we're still talking about a guy who has
absolutely
a top 5 pocket awareness all time. So even though his mobility might not be as good as it was, he still knows how to step up in the pocket. Yeah. He's still not going to shuffle his feet to the sideline and toss it. So we got to make sure we're ready to go. We got to treat Rodgers like he's prime Rodgers, because we still know he can flick his wrist and drop a dime bag to Wilson easily, like there's nothing to it. So, and we don't have that right now. We don't think so. We got to treat them with respect. Both teams back against the wall. Only one team's getting out of there with a win, and not going 0-1 or 0-2 and 1-2. So we'll dive more into that on Thursday. We're going to wrap up for tonight. So as always, guys, appreciate everyone watching in. If you have not yet followed us, subscribed on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching, please do so. The more support, the better. And that's going to do it for us. Anything else to wrap up, guys, before we head out?
Just watch out for our score predictions. Watch out for our score predictions. Jesus Christ, you want to talk or you want me to talk?
I want to talk clearly. But no,
go ahead, talk.
I was going to say, Sal brought up our, subscribers. Shout out the 100 or so subscribers we picked up after last week's game, because if there's one silver lining, it is that the show did phenomenal. So
it was a lot of Bears fans just going like this. Thanks for the win.
We'll welcome it all. No such thing as bad press.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys, honestly. Absolutely. If you're everyone who's watching, make sure you share the show with your friends too. Share the show.
Yes.
So,
yes.
We're gonna close out for tonight, guys. So hope everyone has a phenomenal rest of our night. We'll catch you on Friday when we'll do our real preview before we head down there and do our live show and get to hang out with all of you. We actually do have a graphic. I don't think we showed it yet, just to show everyone.
I mean, if you guys let me actually talk, I was actually going there. You cut me off. Vinny cuts me off. Guys, we got our score predictions on Thursday. We also have our parlays that are on Thursday. That probably, I don't know if you guys hit. I definitely did not hit because I had the Titans in there. Sal had the Titans in there
nothing.
too. Vin, I know you had the Giants in there. That didn't hit either. So we all went 0-3. So,
no, I had Seattle there. That was my only winner in that one.
Now we're gonna bounce back in week 2, and we're gonna try to put together something we can all win money. But guys, shout out! We have our home opener party at the DraftKings Sports Bar and Social on September 14th, 7 p.m. Hope to see every single one of you guys there. Like I said, we're doing a live podcast with Teron Davenport. We're doing some giveaways, meet and greet with us. You want to buy Vinny a drink for his birthday. You want to buy me and Sal a drink. We're all there all night long. So we're celebrating the home opener. We're also celebrating Vinny's birthday. So I can't wait to see everybody on Saturday night in Nashville.
All right, guys. So that'll do it for tonight. We'll keep you posted on everything. And as always, tighten up. Shane, you can send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.